Mame fa na se ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
My friend Edudzi, good self, and our viewers, more especially the good people of Botiano in llage, I'm from. I think that it's been very topical. Yesterday I was watching my good friend Edudzi, having been part of the list of NDC leadership and their members of parliament taking a swipe at the president in the manner of which they see how the government has handled the issue of the flooding situation in the Volta region and part of Greater Accra. It's quite unfortunate, and I think that in light of that the president trying to assuage the fears of every Ghanaian, that is the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, not for any particular group of people, but for the good people of this country. And in times like this, we must eschew the extreme partisanship and politics from manners, things of this nature. But let me take time and try to offer some explanations on the things. I've listened to leading members of the NDC, and it's worrying. And this morning they've started attacking the president vehemently in respect to what the president said. And I believe you have the quote of the president. I wonder what the president had said wrong for people to be taking the president on. And this is a statement from the president that we should rather applaud him, and for that reason learn and emulate same, that once you take an oath, as a president for everybody, irrespective of whether or not the person vote for you or otherwise. And if you permit me, I'll read portions of the president's statement, and I believe that it will do us good as we discuss the matters here. The president said, "I want to assure you that the government is going to do everything in its power to assist and to make sure that things are all right. I think everybody here, and I hope you take the message all across, North Tongue, South Tongue, Central Tongue, that when these things happen and government acts, politics does not come in the matter at all. When I took the oath of office as president, I took the oath of office as president for every single individual in Ghana, of all the people in Ghana, all districts, whether they voted for me or not. Once I've taken the oath of office, I am the president of all the people. So Tobe and your elders, I want you to understand that when something like this happens and the government acts, it is acting for Ghanaians. I came here because Ghanaians are having difficulties and suffering, and it is my responsibility to try and help. If this is the question of counting who voted for me and who doesn't vote for me, I shouldn't be here because you don't vote for me, but that is not my concern. I came here this afternoon to express my sympathies and to commensurate with all the people in the Mepe area. I chose Mepe because this is the area that has been most affected." So this was the state president. And if you listen to some leading members of the NDC, especially members of parliament, and of course, my good friend here yesterday, I was listening to him on one of the networks, and I think it's most unfortunate the way we try to pick up this matter. And the president is aware of all those comments that people have made, and is trying to tell all of us that in times like this, is a commander-in-chief and a president for Ghana, not president for a group of people. And voting pattern, because people had made comment that if these things were to be happening in other parts of the country, because they vote for the president will be quick to go there. But let me tell you, the VRA, who manages the dam, and then the NADO, had foreseen this event happening. So as far back September 15th, they had written to all affected districts, expected that when the dam is open, the spillage will affect them. For them to put in place the disaster management committees in all the districts. So they've written to about 9 districts, about 6 in the Volta region, and 2 in the Greater Accra region, and 1 in Eastern region, on where Lower Manya, they manage the dam. So they've done all this to the extent that community engagement were done, simulation exercises where high-level grounds were identified in case of matters of this nature. So when people accuse government that government had not acted, government day in and day out has been acting and working through its agencies. And that has been going on. My good friend Seji, the Deputy Director General of NADBO, he's been in and out of the voter region for the past 3 months, trying to ensure that the simulation exercise is carried out well. The district assemblies, the local authorities are involved in ensuring that in event of this nature, people are evacuated. And we thank God, though properties have been lost, no life has been lost yet. But you see, the difficulty we have as a country, even the expected levels of the water when the dam is open, we are now at the peak of the expected levels at which they did the simulation. Now, if the Bagri Dam is open and the Akosombo Dam, we don't further open and the dam collapses, per the report of the experts and what they are telling us, what it means is that all the way to Tema, we will lose a lot of communities. So what we are doing now is to manage and mitigate the effect. It is unfortunate. Nobody wishes that this happens to us. If you listen to my good sister, Jifa Gomeshi, and then the Keta MP, obviously when you go to Keta, and Agron is part of it, but when you go to Keta and some other districts, it is because the estuary doesn't pass through that place, but because they have an issue already with the sea defense problems. Now the levels are quite high and they are being affected severely. But if you look at the map of VRA, they were not included in the simulation and the line under which when they open the Volta River, it will affect them. But I think that as a country, we must not hasten to politicize everything that happens. You have to look at the paper trail, where NADMO started from, the district that were involved and all that. When the incident happened, the president was not in the country. Quickly, the president on account, the chief of staff called him. And on phone, they had to put an interministerial committee to deal with this matter. And that matter is a matter of public knowledge for all of us. So I think that what the president said, that people are taking him out of context, trying to take a swipe at him for making a political statement. I don't see that. Based on what I've read, his own comment, I mean, everybody has seen the comment the president has made. There's an issue. NADBO had been on ground, VRA had been on ground. All relevant state agencies are on ground to assist in the situation. And that's what we should be commending government for. And also, how do we restitution for all these people who are affected after? And the president had made a number of promises. We must hold him to it and ensure that all these people are properly taken care of so that they get back their life as it used to be. And I think that, look, science and data has shown us that there are people year in and year out that will be affected. If the water levels remain as it is or even get worse, people will be affected year in and year out. What are we doing permanently? I've seen vegetation that are meant to hold water that has been depleted. People have built on it. Perhaps in those places you don't see it as worse as we see it in Accra. If the llage Dam is open today, in my constituency, in llage constituency, and many other places in Accra, all the way to Damsom and Glefe, there are places that are earmarked that when we open the dam, the whole place will be able to hold water, the swampy areas. And it's not for nothing that nature, by its own design, has created these swampy areas to hold water. But today, all those swampy areas have been developed into concrete buildings. Estates. And so when the dam is open, and of course, the strategic nature of these dams that we have, the llage Dam, the Akosombo Dam, the Pond Dam, in the absence of these dams, I tell you, part of Greater Accra will be awash and it will be all waterlogged. And we cannot have a human habitation in these areas. So we must be able to look at and plunge this country into total darkness. Businesses will be shut down and all that. So most unfortunate as it is, but I think that we must pursue the mitigating factors and ensure that people are relocated and moved. If it's farming or fishing that we do, let us look at alternative livelihood, that some people could be moved from the areas and places where they will continue their economic activity. It's most unfortunate, like the president said, he will do everything within his power to ensure that the people get the relief. Politicizing these and doing politics out of this, we've seen this one too many. And I think that we must grow, and our politics, as we grow, we must eschew some of these things. The president, right after, as he arrived midnight, By morning, he was in Mepe, in the Volta region. He's not sleeping on the job. His men, his officers, the appointees are on ground. And so far, so good, based on what is happening there. It may take a while for the entire water to go down. But as we hear from the report coming from the place, it is obvious that they may have to open more the dam to ensure that we save the dam and then the economy of this. It's a very strategic national installation. And every effort is made to salvage the dam for the good of our country. But of course, many more people are going to suffer. And this one, we have to be looking at permanent settlement of some people along the banks of the waterway, so that in future, when these dams are open, it doesn't affect us as much as we are doing. Because look, the kind of proposal the president is putting in place to be able to rehabilitate and put people back as it used to be. Now, a lot of the kids will not be going to school, will lose a lot of properties and time and all that. It is going to be extremely expensive, rather than looking at the permanent solution of rehabilitating or settlement, proper settlement of most of the people. It might not be all though, but I think that those that are critically affected, we should be looking at permanent settlement for these people going.
All right, thank you very much. So let me come to you also quickly for your brief one. Council, and we'll be able to move to the press conference done by the NDC.
Okay, so I am surprised that this morning my friend who has the honorable title associated with his name among the three of us is the one that can easily be described as honorable, try to provide justification for the obviously reckless and irresponsible comments by Mr. Akufo-Addo. Completely reckless. In fact, completely out of touch. Look, we are in a state of crisis. The last time that anything like this happened was about 1968. That is the nature of what has happened, the unprecedented nature of it. First of all, when the crisis happened, you were outside in the US. Your vice president, who was acting president, never found it necessary to go out there. He never did. He was out there campaigning for votes. That is how he prioritized the issue. Now, when you came and decided to visit the people, in the midst of crisis, that is when he decided to count votes. Completely irresponsible. And you are saying that, and the president came back and, he was there and he did that. This is one of the situations where government response to a crisis was at its lowest. Possibly you do not appreciate the magnitude of what is going on in that place. Look, my brother, I have family members there. Starting from Kitikrachi, a lot of people just think that this thing is happening in the lower basin. Right from Kitikrachi, through Nkwanta, through to Pando Toko, Peve, right to what we are seeing here. The crisis is one that is unprecedented. And so when you have a crisis of this nature, it requires leadership that is sober. Not this rabble-rouser. Look, we are talking about a president who decided to go and meet persons who have been so afflicted by these floods. And that is when he's going to remind them that you don't vote for me.
That's what he said.
And that if it's about voting for me or not voting for me, I wouldn't be here. What is this? In any case, the things that Akufo-Addo sent there, are they part of the estate the father left him? Or his personal funds? He went there with taxpayers' money. And look, my brother, we must all appreciate one thing. The flood that you are seeing there is the price my people are paying for the electricity you and I consume every day. You agree with me? Without that sacrifice, without paying that price, you and I may possibly be in doomsday. When the Akosombo Dam was constructed, my mother, where they were born, they had to be relocated to where Osramani, Chentai, Dobiso, and Co are now. People have paid a price for where we find ourselves in today. Is it the case that Akufo-Addo does not appreciate these things? First of all, the VRA, Metro, and what have you, have already failed the people. If proper forecasting, analysis of data and others were properly done, we will not have this situation. Why wait until September 15th before you start the spillage? In any case, if you were doing proper cross-border or cross-governmental, referencing of documents and data, proper forecasting, it would have been obvious to us that the huge volumes are not necessarily going to be rainfall within Ghana, but also the spill from Burkina Faso, Mali, and the Co. And so you would have put in place appropriate measures. In any case, by the beginning of this year, what was the water level? You are telling us that the maximum is 278 or 277. Today you are exactly at 277. Did the water suddenly reach 277? Definitely it moved from somewhere to the other. And so anybody who could or had the responsibility of monitoring the numbers would have shown that, look, this year the rise is unprecedented and possibly started a spillway much earlier in a more regulated manner. We won't have the situation today. People have failed in their responsibility as duty bearers. And when people have lost their properties, thankfully, no loss of life. And the president, when you get the opportunity to go and visit these people, this is the time that you are going to count vote. You didn't vote for me. You voted for me. Irresponsible. And let nobody gaslight the people in the Volta region. They don't deserve this. In fact, they have paid the price for the comfort and benefit all of us are enjoying. And this is not how you treat them. In any case, you have failed. Your response to their needs was terrible. What you do is to appear apologetic. Any serious president would have gone there in sackcloth and ashes. And you rather go there and then now telling them, oh, you didn't vote. In any case, look at the historical data in terms of votes. Of all the three persons who have led the NPP, Akufo-Addo is the one that the people of Volta region have voted for more than anybody. Not Kufo, not Professor Buzia. In any case, your vote pattern in the Volta region has seen appreciation. Both Volta and Oti, the two regions most affected. Yes, you can add Eastern and Greater Accra, the Adan Esutrare segment. Perfect. But you don't talk to them in this manner. And look at his body language. Look at his body language when he was talking to the chiefs. Is that how Akufo-Addo would talk to his village chief? Is that how you would do that to his village chief? What wrong have they done? You think the people brought this upon themselves? No. It is a price they are paying so that Ghana's industrialization will proceed. So that Ghana's growth will be ensured. This is not how you speak to them. And the person that disappointed me in all of this is the regional minister, Lacha. He was translating, excuse my language, this irresponsible loose talk to the people. Either he didn't appreciate what was happening. And I felt so disappointed. Honorable, would you speak to your people
No, but
in that
but
manner?
with all due respect, point of
Would you speak to your people in that manner?
Point of order. You see,
in your constituency, you can segment like we do. Hold on.
Please.
I'll come back to you.
In politics, you can say that, okay, even in English I'm from your constituency, this area, this is where the bulk of my votes come. So when there is a natural disaster in one of the areas or so, you go there and say, if it's about those who vote for me or who don't vote for me, I won't be here. Mr. President, you are not doing us any favor.
Lawyer.
No, it's insulting.
Please. No, look at you. Look at you.
Counsel.
You see, the disrespect is, and this is not the first time.
But you are disrespecting your viewers on the show.
No,
on the live show this morning. We're not vulgar language.
No, how vulgar? Nonsense.
Allow me.
This is nonsense talk. And you see, look at you. Hold on. This is not the first time Akosombo is doing this. And you see, I take strong exception to this because it looks like, look, the last. Hold on.
I'm coming. Allow me. Pipe through. I know the heat is very much up.
Look, people are going through. No,
Can you allow me? I'll let you go on. For the purposes of the people that are watching us, and for the position of the president, the position that he occupies.
But the talk, it's the talk. It's not the office.
It is
his conduct.
To use words like nonsense. I mean, it's not for TV. Kindly.
How?
I would humbly ask.
No, for your sake, you are withdraw that point.
Thank you very much. So
but you see, the point I am making is that
yes,
this is not the first time Mr. Akosombo is doing this. Look, not long ago, the paramount chief of Aflao, Togbi Amenyafiti, raised concerns about one of the community-day secondary schools in the Volta region, specifically Aflao, and he said, look, government, respectfully come and complete this project for the people within the area. Mr. Akosombo went into the studios of Peace FM and basically lambasted the chief. For what wrong? My brother, the only wrong that the chief committed against Akosombo was to ask him to come and complete community day secondary school. First of all, the chief, Togbi Amenyafiti, is not going to sit in that classroom. He only needed that project for the people within his catchment area. That was enough to get Akosombo to basically say all kinds of things against the chief. What wrong had he done? What wrong had the people in Mepe, the Tong areas, Asutari, the people within Togome, Fojoku, Mafidugame and the rest, what wrong have they done? Can Akosombo, the people who were gathered there, can he tell those who voted for him and those who didn't? When in every constituency in Volta region, at least he got the votes. It is not like, in the constituencies or the communities in those areas, right, Akosombo got 0 votes. No. Already these people are going through agonizing situations already. Look at the time NADMO went there. We all know that as we speak, NADMO is under stock. It's a matter, it's a notorious fact. He is a member of parliament. He will tell you that the District Assembly Common Fund allocation to NADMO is in arrears for 12 months. All these things are there.
Please.
Okay.
And so, have to respond.
Let me come to you now, Honorable.
Let's be circumspect in the way, and don't think that you love the people of Volta region more than the president.
He doesn't love them.
Please.
And
Please. I was listening to you. And the posturing, the arrogant posturing, you are speaking this morning to the president and the viewers of this show. It tells who you are if you have power today. It tells who you are, the arrogant nature. You that you don't even have power. You see the arrogant posturing with which you are speaking. The arrogant posturing with which you are speaking this morning. Insulting everybody, including the president. Nonsense talk on the show. My goodness. What has the president done wrong? What has the president said wrong? The president had made a statement that is forward-looking because of a reckless comment from people like you.
impeaching the voter region against the president. And he said, no, I'm not doing this because it's voter region or because this or that. I'm doing this because it's my responsibility. I'm not doing this because of politics. When you went there, you people were on air, casting innuendos at the president and insulting the government. He said NADMO went there very late. When NADMO had been there the last 3 months, doing simulation exercises and all that, where were you? They had conducted simulation exercises. So that is the way you work. How do you work? You don't work in a vacuum. So all these things had happened. And what has the president said wrong? The president is only responding to the propaganda you put out there. That he's not there, he's not acted. And he has shown you the trail of event activities that had been undertaken to help mitigate the situation. Look, so the president was like, I want to assure you that the government is going to do everything possible in my power to assist, not because you vote for me or otherwise. Because people were saying that because the voter region do not vote for the president, that is why. And he is responding. So the president did not speak in the vacuum. He did not just go there and stand there and talk about vote because of the comment from people like you. And that is the only way the president can respond. And I think that his response was apt to just calm down the people. To say that, look, I am not here because you vote for me or otherwise, as people were speculating. But I'm here because I took an oath to defend every single Ghanaian. It doesn't matter where you are coming from. And that is my responsibility. So when the president admits his responsibility in discharging his obligations, that one, then the fact that the president said, I'm not here because you voted for me or not, if it's about vote, and indeed, if that is it. You know, you remember the former president, Mahama, in Kumasi, what did he tell them? That even if he put gold on the street of Kumasi, they were not going to vote for him. That one, you had reason to defend it. You had reason to defend that one. And when the president was responding to irresponsible comment from you, trying to divide this country on partisan lines, I think this is the most forwarding statement from the president. And I think everybody must take a cue from that. That once you are given an obligation, a member of parliament, whichever capacity you serve each and every one of your constituents, irrespective of whether they voted for you or otherwise. And this comment must stop. When there's an issue, deal with the issue. Don't pitch a particular area against the president. The kind of investment the NPP administration has put in voter region. So are you saying that because the voter region do not vote? We don't look at it from that way. We look that voter region is Ghana, and every individual, whether voted for or otherwise, is a Ghanaian, and the president oath of office. It goes to support the fact that you've taken an oath to lead this country, every one of us. And that is the statement the president made. So why taking a swipe at the president, attacking his integrity over this matter, that the statement was reckless? But those of you who started pitching the voter region against the president and the MPP administration, then you are right. What kind of politics is this? What kind of politics is it? But I'm saying that NADMO had long and VRA, they knew this day would come. So they had done community sensitization. Check from all the affected districts. Whether they had not engaged them, whether they had not written to them, they had done simulation exercises. The outcome of the simulation exercise is what today we are saying that we have not had casualties in terms of death. And we knew that today you are saying they've made the biggest sacrifice. But the report that is coming, if we had not constructed the Akosombo Dam to hold the water, there wouldn't be the communities you are seeing today. It would have all been submerged. In any case, it would have all been submerged, including part of Greater Accra. Like I said, so for me, we must not politicize everything. And the president's statement is in direct response to people who are trying to divide this country on the basis of partisanship. All right. Thank you very much.
So,
let me
briefly, a quick
yes,
rebuttal. You see, I'm not surprised of the justification that my brother is giving for the reckless comment by Mr. Akufo-Addo. You see, from the time his misadventure with Allen, I think he's basically turned himself into
look at this mischievous pulling on this. Look at this. Please, let's go. It doesn't have anything to say. It doesn't have anything to say. What has Alan got to do with it?
calm down.
What has Allah got to do with this? You were supporting Dufo. When Dufo went, what happened?
I'm saying that after his misadventure with Allen,
I don't see you.
I mean, he's basically turned into a Zoom lion. This morning, Ghanaians say our president didn't act as president. He was behaving as a man on the campaign.
Acting as a Ghanaian
a
when he was
man
polarizing
on
and
a man on the
politicizing
platform. What have we said? What has the NDC said? Our response has been simple. That the president traveled and that there was an acting president of this republic. A man who even wants the whole Ghana to be given to him to govern. When his boss was away and there was this crisis, he never thought it right as a priority to go and visit the people.
So now what are you
But was on the campaign trail, campaigning for, hold on,
please.
Was campaigning for vote. This has been the concern raised by the NDC. Are these not factual? Are these not factual?
So whom are
you attacking?
Are you attacking the president forward-looking statement or the vice president?
Please allow him.
I mean, why then?
Allow him.
You see.
Allow him.
And you see, the point we are making is that if you look at the politics of Mr. Akufo-Addo, he keeps certain things so, to his heart, and he never forgives you. Oh. Look, we were in this country.
Can you imagine this?
I have heard a former information minister make the point that it will be, in fact, no president will have the courage to scrap the Zongo ministry. You remember that statement by Mustafa Hamid then. Why do you think the ministry was scrapped? I am saying that we have a president who cannot forgive people who didn't support him. Oh. And that is, if no, why do you think you go and be seeing this in the midst of crisis? Water is taking people
what is
and their property.
The man was responding to your irresponsible and
then you say that,
please allow him. Please.
Look, you go there in the midst of water taking people's property. Then you say you didn't vote for me.
Is that what the man
said? So I'll move to the press conference.
Is that what the man said?
So the Ghanaian Times is reporting that rejection of Professor Frimpong Boateng's Galamsey report, Attorney General covering up illegal mining activities. So page 9 of the Ghanaian Times newspaper says the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, yesterday accused the Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame of allegedly covering up illegal mining activities by some government officials and the New Patriotic Party appointees. Similarly, the NDC had also called on the Special Prosecutor, Mr. Kisi Ejabin, to expedite investigations into the matter and prosecute those culpable. The National Communications Officer of the NDC, Mr. Sami Jemfi, stated this at a press conference in Accra yesterday to discuss the Attorney General's rejection of the former Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, Professor Frimpong Boateng's Galamsey report. He said claims by Mr. Dame that where there was no evidence to substantiate revelation contained in 36 pages of Frimpong Boateng's Galamsey report were simply false. Mr. Jemfi said, contrary to what the Attorney General had come out to tell the world about lack of evidential value of Frimpong Boateng's Galamsey report, there are ample pieces of evidence in the public domain to go to confirm several of damning findings in the Frimpong Boateng Galamsey report. He referred to a video documentary published by Joy News titled Forest Under Siege, which contained evidence that confirms the assertion by Professor Frimpong Boateng to the effect that Emmanuel Donald Interest C&J Alaska, now Imperial Heritage Limited, had, under the guise of prospecting, engaged illegal mining in the Krobo section of the Apamprama Forest Reserve in the Amansia area of the Ashanti region. So he cites an example of what they believe is an ample evidence that will substantiate the report of Professor Frimpong Boateng, that's the Galamsey report. And so they have no reason to believe the Attorney General on his statement. I'll come back.
PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. to my best of knowledge, without any biases. PENDREAM TV.